Hi, I'm Pieter Verkade. I work for MTN Group in the Group COO office. We have a very big announcement. We finally managed to strike a deal with two key partners to sell our airtime overseas in all of our other markets. So we are present in 21 markets. And through this deal, our airtime will be available for all those markets in UK, America, and anywhere else in the world. We are working on the implementation at the moment. It will probably be fully live beginning of next year. But there's about 400,000 points of sales already out there where we can start selling MTN slowly as soon as we have connected. The key benefit for us is that we sell more airtime. The key benefit for a lot of our customers is that they can more easily get airtime from their family overseas and make more calls, as classically we are a receiving continent. It is, but you can only use it for calls, so it's not really seen as it is kind of a remittance because you send a value, but it is only airtime, so you can only use it for airtime or content or some people use it in the informal markets as a value, yes. So that, but ultimately it is small amounts, but a lot of volume. So if you want your girlfriend to call you from Nigeria, then now you can send money or send airtime. Sorry. It's not the first time, it has happened before. I think it's the first time we're doing it as a group to make sure that we have all our opcos available at each of the point of sale, because so far each of our operations had their own deals. And it was very confusing for a customer overseas to find out where they could buy airtime for Nigeria or where for Uganda or where for Yemen. And now it will be all at the same place. You can buy airtime for all of those places. It came from Nigeria, that's where we started one of it, and then we started looking at some of the other operations as well where it was already happening. So it is a classic thing of it started at one of our operations. We picked it up with the group and made sure that it became a nice group approach. It will help us in our competitive environment, but I think more importantly it will help our customers in making sure that they get more easily access to funds from overseas. Then I'd like to introduce our partners in this area now. First of all, it's Jerry Ikar from Sochitel and David Sochitel from Ezetop.
I'm Jerry Ejikeme. I'm the CEO of Sochitel UK Limited, Sochitel Group, and we were actually the first to launch the overseas top-up product with MTN Nigeria. We're currently doing about 95% of MTN Nigeria's international remittance. And it's just a spectacular opportunity based on the fact that there's a lot of migration out of Africa around the world, and we see that as MTN subscribers overseas. So our fit is, as a company, is to make sure that wherever the migrant populations are, we have platforms and delivery access points through which they can make airtime remittance transfers to keep themselves connected with people back home. So whether South Africans that are abroad, Iranians, the whole spectrum, we're in the different corridors. Typically, we're in the corridors of North America, Europe, the Gulf, and we've recently set up in Southern Africa to cater for the SADC region. So we're very happy for the opportunity to be working with MTN Group in reaching its diaspora community. We're talking about millions of customers, millions of transactions out there. So it's a growth industry, but we look to ensure that we contribute positively towards MTN's ARPU bottom line. It's an industry that helps MTN maintain its focus as a dominant player by influencing those back home to stay on the network.
Hi, so my name is David Shackleton. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Ezetop, and we're the leading international top-up company globally. So we have probably about 1 million people this month will use our service to send a top-up, just airtime, back to their family and friends back home. So our target market is the diaspora communities all around the world. We serve right across Latin America, the Caribbean. And we do serve 5 or 6 countries in Africa today. So for us, working with the likes of MTN is a huge partnership and an opportunity to really bring the service quickly out to the African diaspora, be it around the world. Our service runs from predominantly from retail stores. So if you're in the US, you can go to any of the high street pharmacies like Walgreens or CVS or Rite Aid, or you can even go to a Best Buy and pick up our international top-up product and instantly send an airtime home. So I guess the driver behind the product is really putting a low-value product in a consumer's hands instantly across the world and making those connections between people. Yeah, it is great. I mean, I think that there'll still be a huge amount of work for our teams, and we've got fantastically dedicated teams, because we will actually have to go around to each and integrate each separately, which has its own challenges. They're all different, but it's something we've been doing. We work with pretty much all of the large mobile operator groups in the world. MTN is actually one of the last ones to come together, but they've all been individual deals, bar a couple of exceptions. So we're very pleased about that. Be hard to share an exact number, but I think December we'll hit 1 million customers using the service in a month. The average value it depends in different regions of the world. It's somewhere between $10 and $20 per transaction. And what we find is people use the service a lot, right? So they're going into their store. They're probably buying themselves a top up in London, and they're buying one for their family back home as well, to let them know they care, let them know they're thinking about them. So we see people using it every week, every 2 weeks, so much more frequently than a money transfer, which is the lifeline that's still happening every month. It's not a replacement for that. It's very targeted, and the service for us is it's a low margin business for us. So we're very, very tight, and it has to be very targeted, very focused on ROI. And we work very closely with the mobile operators, because it is their brand that the consumer recognizes when they go into a store. A lot of it is on the street. A lot of it is in the store. It's putting the MTN logo in the store. It's using whatever local language is relevant in the store. It's using community newspaper, community press. Events are very popular with us. You'll see our float in the Notting Hill Carnival for the Caribbean community, or whatever it is in whatever part of the world. So we typically have a weekend. We have 60 to 70 events happening in different cities around the world across our different teams. So we have offices in 4 or 5 regions of the world that coordinate that activity on the ground. Because it's one thing to have a system and make a service work and connect. It's a very different proposition to actually get consumers using it and adopting quickly. And we see very high compound growth monthly.